Hi, this is John Taylor from the National Community Reinvestment Coalition. I wanted to just mention a brief word about the Consumer Finance Protection Agency now being debated in Congress. Originally proposed by President Obama, this was a very good idea and a very good concept. Unfortunately, what has happened to this bill is that it has been weakened so severely that communities of color, low and moderate income, working class people, blue collar people are severely disadvantaged in this current bill, now making its way through the House. The President proposed that the Oversight Board be comprised of individuals, perhaps some consumers, that he appoints. Unfortunately, the House, led by Bonnie Frank, has changed that to have the bank regulatory agencies, the Federal Reserve, the Office of the Comptroller of Currency, the FDIC, others, the Federal Trade Commission, that actually they would be the overseers of this board, that they would be the one to advise the director on the directions that he or she should be going. We think this is a fatal flaw to this bill. Other things like a reasonableness standard that would ensure that banks made a reasonable effort to make sure that consumers understood the documents they were signing. That was taken out. The Community Reinvestment Act, the law that affirmatively obligates banks and hopefully other institutions to make safe and sound loans in low-income and minority neighborhoods, that law was taken out of the oversight by this board and by this agency. There's been several other initiatives and changes to this bill. Most recently, last week, they exempted 88,000 out of the 8,200 banks from being covered by this Consumer Finance Protection Agency. We just think this Congress, this Democratic majority Congress, can and should do better, that they ought to follow President Obama's initiative, which really is designed to create fairness and a more equal playing field for those working their way up the economic ladder, people of color, people who have traditionally struggled to build wealth and to be treated fairly by the financial services sector. That's what he had in mind. That's what we think this Congress had in mind. So we urge you to be vocal with your member of Congress that we need a strong Consumer Finance Protection Agency bill, not the weakened version that is now floating around Capitol Hill and is now facing further amendments that are going to weaken its impact. Thanks for listening.